check it out. In association with Apache, Racing DNA Unleashed.
The Indian education system is fast changing, with technology gripping the nation in an unprecedented fashion.
And today, new age digital companies are using cutting-edge technology to enhance the academic sector in our country.
From virtual classrooms to artificial intelligence to 3D printers, we're going to show you how technology is enabling the growth of personalized learning.
And in the process, transforming education as we've known it for years. Alright, so we're going to kick off our EdTech special with 3D printing and how it's all set to revolutionize the Indian education system.
Yeah, so 3D printing has created quite a buzz in recent years, but much like computers in the early 1980s, it's still a relatively new technology that's yet to find its place in Indian classrooms and schools.
That's right, 3D printers still have a very long way to go before they become an integral part of the Indian educational system, but fortunately there are enough companies out there who are making it their mission to change that.
And when it comes to company missions, Delhi-based 3Dexter has one of the best. They want to change the Indian educational landscape by providing experimental learning.
Now, so far the company's made a big impact through its development of 3D printed curriculums and in-school labs that give students an opportunity to learn important skills in an interactive and hands-on manner. Here's more.
We are all 7 school friends, and we always had this knack for doing something in the education field. Then we came across this technology called 3D printing. So once we were researching on 3D printing, we figured out there are a lot of industries interested in 3D printing, including automobile, aerospace, fashion, etc. etc.
We found out that this technology has immense scope, and due to our inclination towards the education sector, we started doing some small workshops in schools, and we found a lot of scope. Like children were very much inquisitive, and they were interested, and they were curious to understand what the technology is. And from going from that workshop model, we created a very small curriculum, a 4-month curriculum for students, where they were involved in the technology in an introductory basis, where we will teach them about what this technology can do, how it can enhance the experience of their learning different subjects, and also further innovate and creatively understand problems. Our personal motive is to bring experiential learning at the core of classroom teaching, using 3D printing as a primary tool.
So what we're trying to bring in schools is experiential learning. If we talk about experiential learning, it's basically learning by doing.
So with the help of 3Dexter, what we have targeted is a dual approach. One is definitely innovation is there. We want to ignite innovation in the classroom. The second is to also enhance them academically. When it comes to innovation, we are always free for their ideas. We are always promoting them and motivating them to visualize their ideas, and with the help of 3D printing, actually bring them to reality.
This is a prosthetic hand. So it has been created by a 8th class student from scratch. A lot of students in Nepal have lost their fingers due to the earthquake that came like 2 years ago. And we gave this as a case study in one of our schools, and students actually came up with the idea of a prosthetic hand. And with their mentor, they developed a full-fledged hand which works on a principle of tension. Basically, when you put pressure on the wrist, the fingers will contract.
Finally, there is a technology that is bridging the gap between the physical and the digital part. So whatever the students are actually visualizing and designing on the screen is finally coming to real life through the 3D printers.
Our core, let's say, ideology of 3Dexter revolved around giving them an experience where they can come to let's say, a particular lab and can freely experiment and innovate with this technology and further enhance their skills like creativity, problem solving, visualization and critical thinking.
The major challenges that we faced with schools was, first of all, the awareness. So no one had the awareness that the 3D printing is a technology or is something which can print objects in 3D. So educating them throughout this technology, giving them demos, was a tough task initially.
After we enter the school, we face some sort of operational challenges quite regularly. The primary one being that when you have to deploy a manpower in school, you need a person who knows this technology. Again, the unawareness part comes in place. People don't know about this technology, so they haven't really studied or have the skill to deploy this technology in a 3D printing lab. So how 3Dexter works out is they make the person train for 45 days where we teach them each and everything about the technology, about how does it work, how is it made, even from assembling and disassembling a 3D printer.
So introducing a new software is also a challenge for us because the students or even the authorities think of things 10 times before any new kind of change or improvisation that we do to our product. Currently we are operating in around 35 schools and we are looking at a 10x growth rate next year of around 350 schools, and 5-year projections would be around 8% of the schools and institution market.
I think the response of that we have got about our program and the kind of 3D printing curriculum that we run in schools, that is the only thing which has kept us moving forward. Because this is the response which we further take forward to schools as a basic, let's say, feedback mechanism. As you know, this is the proof that what we have done is credible, is quality education, and also it's impactful in terms of what we are trying to do in schools. We still think that 3D printing is yet to reach its peak. So we are at a very good time in the industry where it's still growing and it will reach its peak. And we are one of the companies who are right now considered as one of the top companies in the education and specifically 3D printing sector who can actually reach heights and in India can revolutionize the way we learn things.
We have been collaborating with schools and now we're collaborating with colleges as well. Apart from schools and colleges, we are also collaborating with institutions and we're providing them with the franchises as well. So we have a couple of franchisees spread across India, and in those franchisees, be it the institutions or be it individual person who is running the institute, we are very well helping them, providing the solution, not just the logistics, but we are also providing them with the curriculum also. And then the third thing is our summer camps, because not a lot of schools can afford 3D printing, but yes, they do have students who really want to learn 3D printing. So with the help of those summer camps, we are actually able to help them learn 3D printing and learn 3D designing, etc., even though they do not have the technology in their school. Our biggest motivation is our team itself. So initially, because not all the companies have 7 founders or 7 directors, so initially we fought a lot of criticism by when people were saying that, are you sure you want to work in a company with 7 directors, 7 different brains working together? Do you think it's possible? We had a lot of questions bombarding on us.
But what we think is that if you take it positively, then you have 6-7 pillars to rely on.
So whenever one of us are missing, there's always someone else to find our back and help us with all our work. So yes, when it comes to the motivation, the team is definitely the biggest motivation.
I think the only advice that I would give to any young entrepreneur is that whether you start young or start at an older age or at a later stage, whenever you want to start, just start.
So it takes time, nothing happens overnight, I would repeat obviously, and patience is the key to success.
You cannot achieve anything without hard work. So there are no shortcuts in life, you have to take those stairs and do the hard work.
So I think if they just have to think of one thing, take it and execute it and go with it.
Okay, so what would you print if you had your own 3D printer? What would you make?
Kind of glad you asked me that question. I have a ready answer for that and you're going to love it.
Is it going to be a stupid answer?
You're going to love it. Wait for it.
It's going to be a stupid answer.
Shoes.
Yeah, okay. Shoes, really?
Yes, shoes, really.
You do realize that 3D printing is being used by various industries to benefit society in every way, right? You can use 3D printing for making human prosthetics, for printing food, for printing batteries, for making housing materials. But you, Sejal Pandey, would use it for
shoes.
For shoes.
Because I don't need housing material or prosthetics or battery.
Can you explain to me how would shoes benefit, 3D printed shoes benefit society in any way?
Did I say they would? They'd only benefit my wardrobe, son.
Right. I mean, why buy shoes when you can just make them at home, right?
See, smart cookie. Now you know what to give me for my birthday.
3D printed shoes?
No, silly. 3D printer.
3D printer.
So that I can print enough number of shoes.
Okay, I think, I have a feeling that you have more than enough shoes in your wardrobe.
Sahil, golden rule of a girl's wardrobe. One can never have enough shoes or jewelry.
Okay, well,
And
also
both are a high waste of money.
One
hence
can
the 3D
also
printer.
not have enough commercial breaks when you co-host a show with Sejal Pandey. So on that note, let's take a break.
Check it out. In association with Apache, Racing DNA Unleashed. Check it out. In association with Apache, Racing DNA Unleashed.
Welcome back. You're watching our education special on Tech It Out.
Now, the online learning space in India has seen a massive disruption in the recent past. Players like Editor and Coursera have paved the way for the next big educational startup.
Our next story is about Talent Edge, an online education firm that offers various programs through its virtual classrooms.
But does it have what it takes to survive an extremely competitive marketplace? Let's find out.
The Indian education sector is on the cusp of growth. With smartphone and internet usage on the rise, the demand for digital learning is growing tremendously. When we talk about numbers, India's online education system is expected to grow from the current $4 billion to $40 billion by 2030. With those type of figures, it's hardly surprising that a plethora of startups have come up in this space, each targeting different pain points to set itself apart.
Hi, this is Talent Edge. We have received your inquiry regarding the market research and data analytics course from MICA.
Take Gurugram-based Talent Edge, for example.
My Talent Edge is basically affiliated with MICA Institute, and we offer the course Market Research and Data Analytics, which is for 1 year duration.
Founded in 2012 by Aditya Malik, it's one of those edtech startups that make learning simple through its virtual classroom technology solutions.
India has a workforce, we are, as you read about the demographic dividend, so we have a workforce of 65% of population is below 35 years of age. And that's where the entire genesis of the idea came along. So a lot of these people are hungry to upskill themselves, hungry to make sure that they get the best education. And the idea is that how do you give them the best education sitting at home? Everybody can't afford to go to a XLRI or a IIM or a IIT. How do you make sure they get the same level of education sitting at home? That was number one. Number two was the fact that the skill set required to succeed in today's job is changing very fast. So how do you make sure that when people are, the requirements of the job are changing so fast, how do you make sure these people have the right kind of skill set and they are ready for the next roles and generating new employment? And these are the ideas which prompted us to start Talent Edge, and by God's grace, it's been a great success so far.
Providing a number of courses in different streams like business management, analytics, and finance, the company hopes to empower an e-learning system that goes beyond the traditional methods of education, which is both highly interactive and engaging.
We are competing with, or we want to better the experience of a student which he or she gets in a classroom. Now, when that's the benchmark, then our entire objective is that we are equipped technologically to make sure that the student gets that experience sitting at home. The entire process is live and interactive, where the faculty is teaching from the institute and students are logged on from wherever they are, and they are able to interact with the faculty with two-way audio video. Not only that, the entire experience in terms of, with machine learning and AI-enabled algorithms, giving enough data to the student as well as enough data to the faculty to make sure that the learning is interactive, and they also engage the students.
For Aditya, technology is what drives the heart and soul of Talent Edge. He takes pride in the fact that his company is India's first online education platform that is using artificial intelligence to provide a highly effective learning guide for its students.
So we have recently launched a new version of a platform called Slick. Slick is India's first AI and machine learning enabled platform. So what it does is, right from, as I had mentioned earlier, for us the important thing is to make sure the student gets the learning experience which is better than the physical classroom. So right from a social learning experience where they can collaborate with each other offline also when faculty is not teaching, work on the case studies, see each other's faces, where bot assists them with any query they have, in terms of giving them enough data about various topics to study, which topics not to focus on, pointers on throwing them some questions, throwing them some different answer. The entire system is made in such a way that it replicates your physical classroom environment.
Today, classrooms all over India are becoming more and more digitized, which has naturally led to a great number of edtech startups in the market, each vying for consumer attention. But Aditya doesn't seem too concerned by the ever-growing competition.
More the merrier. We are looking for more and more competition. Secondly, I don't think the market we are in is saturated. So the most saturated market is EdTech is in K-12 segment, which is the school supporting segment where you see a lot of noise around. But in the higher education segment where we are focused on courses for career advancement, we don't see much competition, and from where we stand, I don't think competition worries us because we are clearly the market leaders as of now, and we see with the kind of youth coming into the Indian population more and more, and we see the immense scope for us, and so we are not worried for the competition. In fact, more and more competition coming in is good for us because the concept of digital education will become more prominent with that. So happy to welcome more competition.
With this world-class learning ecosystem, best-in-class interactive IP solutions, direct-to-device technology and alliances with top institutes, Talent Edge seems to have an edge over its rivals. In fact, the company's growth rate speaks volumes.
So as a company, we have been growing 100% year on year, and the growth is not only in terms of financial numbers. What we are seeing interestingly is the fact that the enrollments we are getting are from tier 2 and tier 3 cities as well. So geographically also, today we are covering more than 200 cities where the enrollments are coming in. Internationally also we are seeing growth coming in for Middle East and South Asia. So we are seeing those numbers coming in from all across. So while financially we are growing 100% year on year, we are growing like geographically also big time. We are also seeing a growth in number of courses. A number of courses are getting doubled year on year. We are also seeing growth in number of partnerships. So we are seeing more and more institutes signing up with us. And last but not the least, we are seeing growth in profitability as well. So far it's a happy story.
Going forward, Aditya plans to carve a niche place for Talent Edge as India's first online interactive education company that will be responsible for educating current and future generations to use and improve upon the technology that supports the digital economy.
From a future perspective, I think in the normal BAU business as usual will continue. We are looking forward to continue the growth rates which we are achieving. Over and above that, we have some big plans in terms of expanding to Middle East and South Asia in a big way. That's next in our line, getting international, making sure that apart from capturing the India market, how do we capture the international market, especially the neighboring countries and Middle East, and gather a larger market share. So that's the next step as we move forward. So I think for us the timing has been perfect, and especially when we have started with this segment which is working professionals who are anyway looking for a career advancement, and they need the career advancement sitting at home or at an office because they want to upgrade their skills. I think the timing has been perfect in terms of making sure that more and more people come onto the bandwagon and get digitally trained. And last but not the least, I think from an economy perspective, the need has also increased much more. And you see all the tech companies leader talking about the fact that the next wave of jobs is going to come from robotics, AI, machine learning, etc., etc. The mundane jobs which were being done earlier are completely transforming and getting into the new range of jobs. And how do you make sure these people are ready for that while they are working in a company? That's where people like Talent Edge come in, and that's where the digital economy piece or the digital learning piece comes in, where we work with them to make sure that they are ready for their next job while working in the present job.
It's time now to take a very quick break on Tech It Out.
But don't go anywhere because a lot more tech action on the other side. Stay tuned.
Check it out. In association with Apache, Racing DNA Unleashed. Check it out. In association with Apache, Racing DNA Unleashed.
Now, there are loads of gadgets and gizmos aimed at kids, but at times it can be a little bit difficult to separate the bad from the good.
So we've picked out some tech for your kids that your kids will enjoy both actively and passively.
That's right. So up next, we're going to get you some gadgets that are not only fun to play with, but also have some educational benefits. Take a look.
Times have changed, and so has the way we educate the younger generation. Osmo Genius brings learning and tech together.
Could you draw me a magic wand? Draw it down there, then tap here when it's ready.
And boy, does it do that well. Osmo here is changing the game. So all you need is an iPad and the Osmo Kit. Though it's not available on Android, but your 6-year-old can enjoy the Osmo Kit by simply putting the iPad in the Osmo base and placing the red reflector over the camera that sees what's in front of it. Your kids can now bring their drawings to life, make pizzas and sell them.
Pepperoni and green pepper coming right up.
Code and control animated characters.
So now it's time for the really big magic.
Arrange wooden puzzle pieces to match on-screen shapes, and much more. Osmo makes learning fun and lets your kid create their very own masterpieces. Our next-gen kids love tablets, and Amazon takes things ahead with yet another one. With a separate interface for kids, even parents can enjoy this. With the HD screen, not only can kids enjoy their ABC, but also find Nemo and take on new quests with Dora the Explorer. A quad-core processor and 1 GB RAM ensure lag-free fun, and a storage of 8 or 16 GB spares enough room for your and your kids' favorite games and applications. Kids get to choose from over 10,000 books, games, movies, TV shows and educational apps to enjoy their leisure time. The parental control allows you to manage usage limits, content access and educational goals, and keeps your little kids in check in your absence. The kid-proof case keeps it safe from those bumps and drops, and just in case they break it, the 2-year worry-free warranty gets it replaced. No questions asked. Sphero claims to be the world's first app-enabled robotic ball that looks like a little fun ball but runs on iOS, Android and Windows and rolls across your home, water and even pets, and it's totally safe. Sphero 2.0 rolls at speeds of up to 4 miles per hour and pairs to your device via Bluetooth with a range of up to 100 feet. It's powered by induction charging and runs for 60 minutes when fully juiced up. It's a waterproof, shockproof and pet-proof bot that stops at no terrain. And the extra accessories only add to the fun. Choose from over 30 apps to experience a whole new world of mobile gameplay. Sphero takes arcade games and augmented reality to a whole new level. Just fire up the app and interesting characters are just a click away. With Sphero, the little champs never run out of their share of fun. Now, aren't we all super protective of our kids, especially when they aren't around? So here's a little something that lets you be super protective, but a little less worried at the same time. The Sandwise and Sandwatch is a wearable childcare tracker that works like a guardian to your little angel and lets you take a chill pill. It's packed with connectivity, security, fun, and safety features that makes it your and your child's perfect companion. Insert a GSM SIM and your Sandwatch becomes a phone. The two-way calling system lets the child call 3 pre-registered numbers with a push button and receive calls from authorized numbers only. The Sandwatch app and GPS enables you to track the location of your kid from anywhere, anytime. It also works like a walkie-talkie, so your kids never lose out on the fun. Geofencing keeps them in safe areas, and the mosquito repellent keeps buzzers away and kids safe. Cool, isn't it? No more running behind cars and pulling them back and forth to zoom them around. With Anki cars, it's all next level. It's time to build your very own racetrack at home. Anki Cars works like programmed robots that are controlled by an Android or iOS device, and you can race or battle alone or with friends. Quickly create 8 different racing tracks and layouts and go for a spin. The Anki Overdrive app lets you race and manage the gameplay too. The track can easily fit up to 4 cars. So call your buddies over and battle it out.
Anki Overdrive.
Well, that's it for this edition of Tech It Out. We really hope you enjoyed the show.
Tell us what you like, what you don't. Write to us on our social media and digital platforms.
We'll see you same time next week. Thank you for watching.